Hello, my name is Ixel, and I just want to give a brief overview of the important details and information that I've learned after watching the F.A.T City workshop. You know, F.A.T standing for frustration, anxiety, and tension. Um, I want to start off by saying I saw the graphics, and it was obviously a very dated video. And once I heard him start to speak and the way that the language that he used, which was not person first language, obviously stated kind of how dated the video was. I mean, it was kind of very offensive and hard to hear. But once I got over that, it was a lot. It was overall a very, very informative video. Um, when it came to processing, my favorite thing that he said is that while people are processing the answers to the question, a student with a learning disability is processing the question. And that kind of put it into perspective. Someone hears the question, they get it, while the other student is still processing the question was kind of like really eye-opening. And the suggestion of just choosing, knowing the student that has that processing issue and choosing them first so that they kind of giving them the choice to choosing them first so that they, while everyone has five answers, they only have two, kind of gives them that confidence and that builds on that. And that was very eye-opening. I think we've come a long way because he used a lot of stereotypes that I feel I personally haven't experienced in the class, and hopefully many other students have not experienced in the class. Maybe due to our knowledge of what could be occurring, like when he was giving examples and he was being kind of mean and rude, and he was like, well, teachers do this, and teachers, why would we do this to students? And you're like, you're right, that's really mean. Why would we do that to students? It was very eye-opening to think that, oh my gosh, we talk to kids that way, teachers talk to kids that way. We can't do that. That's not a thing we should be doing anymore. And the bribing children, even though they can't do something, I mean, I have a toddler at home, and I sometimes catch my mom trying to bribe her when she's crying, and I'm like, stop, you can't bribe kids. That's not a thing. We gotta encourage them, give them positive reinforcement, but we cannot bribe kids to do. And then, especially when they can't do something, and we shouldn't take away things as punishment. We shouldn't do all of that. The visual perception was really, I mean, all the examples that were given were all very great and eye-opening. I think another one, two more of my favorite things that he mentioned was stop asking kids rhetorical questions. And I am guilty of this with my daughter, who I'm not a teacher yet, but I often catch myself asking rhetorical questions. Kids don't get sarcasm. I mean, sarcasm is a difficult concept, and it's just mean to use sarcasm with someone who doesn't get it. And it's even more mean to get upset with a student for answering the question which they didn't realize was rhetorical in the first place. And finally, my most favorite part of the video was at the end when they discussed fairness. Because everyone's like, why does that kid get extra help? Why does that kid deserve all this attention? It's not about a deserving thing, it's about a needing thing. Fairness does not mean everyone gets the same. Fairness means everyone gets what they need. And some people need a little bit extra help. And that's okay. Some kids need summer school. If your kid did great, got super all A's, why would you want them to go to summer school? And some kids need to a little bit more extra weeks in school to catch up on the concepts that they missed. So the whole concept of fairness and everyone thinking they're getting the short end of the stick. The short end of the stick is not being able to understand and not being able to keep up. And fairness is that was just an amazing point that was made in that video. Overall, once getting over that person first language, the video was super detailed. The part where he showed a picture of a horse and he's like, "What is that? What do you mean you don't see that?" Or when he showed the picture of the woman and everyone thought it was a skull. I mean, to be able to sort of imagine what these kids struggle with and what they experience, they see one thing and we see another. It really helps, and it really helped to understand. And then all the different examples really helped to show that there isn't just one learning disability. There could be so many variations of one or the other, or of two or three of these things combined that make it difficult for the students to learn. And once we can identify what these issues and challenges that these children have, that these students have, it can become easier for us to develop plans for them to succeed in the classroom.